What's up?
Welcome in, everybody. Welcome to another fabulous episode of Empower Transcendence. My name is Nick Carboni, and this is my beautiful wife, Brie Carboni. It's been a while.
It's been a hot minute.
What, a month?
No, baby, only 3 weeks.
Has it been 3 weeks?
Only 3.
Feels like 6.
I know. We've missed you guys.
We've been busy. We've been busy, so we apologize. I don't think anybody cares, but that's okay. We can apologize anyways. But yeah, welcome in and wonderful Empower Transcendence series where we empower you to understand life, spirits, ghosts, the afterlife, you name it. So, yeah, tonight we are going to burst some bubbles on the wonderful topic of the paranormal, the demons.
Well, it's not just paranormal. This is like real. Go.
And they're interfering. So yeah, we're gonna deep dive into this and the understanding of what an actual demonic being is and how it truly affects you and what you're actually encountering on your paranormal investigating, and just so you can have a better understanding, so you don't have to put that that thumbnail for your video of oops, I beat up a demon in a closet, type of thing, because that didn't happen and it's not going to happen. So, but yes, welcome in. And you guys, if you get a chance, go over to the Facebook or the Book of Faces and like and follow the Empower Transcendence page. How do I explain this? So, for about a decade, that page was the Old World Paranormal Society page. That is no longer viable, so we switched it to Empower Transcendence. Now, probably, I'm not going to be honest with you, for the last year, 2 years, I really did not pay a whole lot of attention to the Old World Paranormal Society page or the group page. I've been busy with other things, and so that whole algorithm thing is not working out well on the Empower Transcendence page. So if you get a chance, share it out, the whole 9 yards. We would greatly appreciate it. I've been trying to post at least every other day on there, just putting a spiritual message, a clip from one of the shows, stuff like that. Just uplifting. This is all about uplifting. I can speak for both of us. We like to work in the light, and everything that we do is in the light, and we try our hardest. And the devil does its work, and it really pushes your button and pushes you to not do that. So, and we are perfect examples of 2.5 years of hell, per se, in the paranormal community with just you name it coming after you. And we stood our ground.
Yeah, we did.
And we took all the bullets, and we are still here. And we are still pushing forward because this is what we truly believe in. This is deeply rooted in our core to help pay it forward, to help people in any facet that we can, to give back, to volunteer. That's just who we are. And, and it's crazy sometimes where you can do the greatest thing, the greatest volunteer thing, the greatest pay it forward thing, and you're still gonna have people come at you. And that is just that's the dark side. And it doesn't want people to work in the light. It does not want people to do good things. And it's gonna, people that work in the dark are just very negative mindset and jealous people, and that's what they do. But you got to stand your ground. put your bulletproof vest on and take those shots.
Straight facts. You preaching, baby.
I'm preaching. I'm preaching.
Preaching.
Give me a fucking church. I'm gonna preach. I always joked about that. I'm like, I want a fucking church. I want to go up there. It's gonna be called the Church of Common Sense. I swear to God, that's what I want. I just want.
Guess I'm gonna be a pastor's wife round 2.
You might be. You might be. I want to be the pastor of the Church of Common Sense.
Let's do this, baby. Let's go.
Now, guys, what we're about to talk about with this whole demonic thing tonight, look, do we have all the answers? I wish I could sit here and say, yes, we do. But this is what we understand. This is what we have learned. This is what we've encountered, the whole 9 yards. And through countless research and, probably 60, 70 residential cases, running locations and collaborating with hundreds of people around the country, to conventions, to you name it. We just have a really good understanding of this stuff, and we just want to empower good people so they have better understanding on these topics. And tonight, we're going to talk about demonic beings. We were chit-chatting last night in bed talking about something, and I think in 2 weeks this will be our topic.
Yeah, it needs to be.
And it's going to be on consciousness and
leveling up,
awakening. If you've ever gone through an awakening, you'll understand. But the crazy thing is, when you get to that second awakening, holy shit. Like, I don't even know. You cannot, I want to be honest with you cannot truly describe an awakening until you've gone through it. What do you think?
Oh my God. I mean, you can try to describe it, but it's like me trying to tell you how I gave childbirth and my epidural failed me and I almost died.
Right.
Like,
this is funny.
So we are having spiritual interference tonight.
Shocker.
But no, I believe that. Okay, so I'm probably, as we're talking about demons, I have a feeling a couple things are going to be coming through tonight for some people in our audience. I am never given specifics for people, so I'm just going to spit what I get. If I get something, I will tap you on the arm. Is that fair enough?
Okay. Fair enough. You're going to get a bonus tonight. You might get a partial reading.
Yeah, so I'm just going to spit what I get. But I definitely feel like we're getting interference because this is something that needs to desperately be spoken about. There's a lot of different facets. I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh my God, but you guys aren't for the demons. Yes. That's why we're talking about it. There's a lot of misplacement, a lot of mislabeling, a lot of misunderstanding. A lot of people have taken the word demon and the ideology, the mysticism, the what they think to be theology, and use it to gain notoriety, to cause harm, to damage, to and causing harm is such a there's such a vastness when it comes to causing damage, because you can, like, I was reading a news article today, and I believe that this happened in Canada. I was reading it early this morning, having my cup of coffee, my wake up time, my alone time, and this man was confronted on the street by a psychologist, and was not in the hospital, this man didn't have anything wrong with him. But this psychologist started verbally attacking this man. And because they're a licensed professional, they were able to demand a psychiatric hold on this man. And it's like, we are seeing the world change right now. I mean, right before our eyes. I think anybody who's paying attention to the news, um, there was a recent verdict that came out, with a tragic situation. Believe that was what, down in Texas,
Yeah,
and
two young males.
yeah, so there's a lot that we are seeing, and what I think a lot of people are not understanding, when you're in the paranormal, you get these younger kids and they want the notoriety, they want to make the easy money, and they know that they've got some sort of good looks, so they can easily get the younger girls to follow and give up their allowance money, their babysitting money.
All about that analytics.
And they go in these locations and they start screaming demons and screaming and acting absolute total fucking fools. And if we get 50 llamas, I'll spend a minute in the demon infested basement. Okay, well now, because you've got this younger generation watching you and following you, you're now implementing a whole new thought process into that younger generation, which is total misleading and misunderstanding of what it is that you should be doing when it comes to paranormal investigating, for one, and for two, you're totally twisting the reality of what demons are. And I know that there's people out there that'll say, I don't believe in heaven, I don't believe in hell, I don't believe in angels, I don't believe in demons. Nick and I are pretty unified in how we look at that theology with angel and demons. Part of my gifting is, yes, I do see them. And when people are like, oh, this place is demonic, and I'm like, it's just a pissed off 75-year-old janitor in the basement. What the hell are they talking about? Right. He had a heart attack and he missed his grandkid's birthday, or his wife died before him. Like, some people are just pissed off, and some people were assholes in real life, and guess what? They're still assholes.
When you are actually on a paranormal investigation, or you're visiting a haunted location, pay to play or residential, this or that, I just throw that D word, just throw it away, for one, and I'll explain that. What you should probably be worried about is something more that is nature based, that has been conjured up, in that
manifested
aspect.
For those who don't understand the conjuring,
that can mislead you to the demonic path when it's not, and what you're actually dealing with is probably something worse. I let's just start off with this. Let's put this here, and we're gonna deep dive into this. These fucking gnats.
You got gnats. I'm dropping a water bottle lid. We're a hot mess.
So, Brie and I, before I met Brie, I studied a lot and I worked with a lot of people that were able to help aid spirits over through the light. So I had a lot of knowledge of that. The problem was, I am not a medium. So in order for me to understand truly what I was doing, I still had to get some type of validation to understand it, to make sure that what I did was right. And the fact that what I was doing, and it helped the spirit. Meeting Brie and understanding her gift, and then going along that journey, it's super easy and quick for us to do that. But my point is, even a spirit that's just needs help, okay, or a trap spirit or something like that, they still themselves have to want to go to the other side. You cannot make that spirit go. You can remove them from a location, and put a boundary over that location so they can't come back in that location. But as far as going to that next dimension, going to the spirit realm, or going through the light, or whatever it is, you're aiding them to do that. So this is just a prototypical soul, me and you. Okay.
So, like, let me break it down for those who are watching who are Christians or Catholics. You can bring somebody to church in the physical form, and that person can memorize all the scripture, or you can preach to all your friends and tell them how wonderful and loving Jesus and God is, and it's basically leading a horse to water. You can take them to church, but you can't force your friend to accept Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior. You can't force them to accept that God exists and God is a loving God. Same thing in the spirit realm, you guys. I think a lot of people misunderstand that. You're human just because we cannot physically, okay, I might be able to see them, but because the typical person cannot see them as flesh and blood, you have to understand that they're human too. Like they're okay. So they're people just like us. They're just no longer bound by their meat suit. They are the spirit being that they were inside of the human body. And just as much as us in our human body, we can't make people accept God. You cannot make somebody cross into the light.
Correct. So my point now is you are talking levels, you know, a demon is equal per se as an angel. And nobody talks about defeating an angel or removing an angel or doing this or that. We're like, well, why would I do that? You know, they're here for the common good. They're here in the light. Well, even if you wanted to, you truly can't. And same with a demonic being. I have in the shelf behind me. I should have just grabbed it. I have a book. It's called the Dictionary of Demonology.
Want me to grab it?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
Okay. So if I study that book and memorize that book, and I know the names of 700 demonic beings, okay. So fucking what? What is that going to do for you?
Demons know scripture too.
Like we are all souls, okay? Plain and simple. Like right now, we're talking. We're in our meat suits, but we are souls. We do not understand consciously who we truly are. When you level up on the awakening, when you get to that first one, you get to that second one, you get the opportunity to go through a third one. You're reaching that conscious level to truly understand who you are. But even at that, you are still not equipped to handle such power. Okay. That, when somebody is running around saying, well, I'm a demonologist. I'm like, and I always say, what the fuck does that mean? You studied, the names of demons and this or that. So what? What is that going to do? What is that? How does that help you fight these demonic beings? In your psyche, in your mind, it might feel like you're more prepared to go on head to toe with one of these, but truly you're just fooling yourself. It's not going to happen. And I'll explain, there is only one way, and I'll explain to you towards the end of the show. Okay. But as far as you go into all these different religions, and obviously we'll talk about Catholicism, because the sexiness and of the exorcisms and the movies, The Exorcist, and plethora of hundreds of other movies that to deal with exorcisms. 90% of them fail. And you ask the priest when they come, we might have to do this X amount of times, and it's still not a guarantee. It's truly not. And it comes down to your core belief. You're like, well, I'm one with the Holy Spirit. That's great. That will help. I accepted Jesus Christ. Great. That will help. But still, at the end of the day, it might not help you. And that's the scary part. That's the stupid, blind ignorance of this field. I don't understand how everybody thinks it's so damn sexy to want to go to a place that's labeled demonic. I seen somebody post the other day, would you stay the night at this profound demon house? And it was talking about the Sally house. Okay, let's talk about it. How the fuck do you know there's a demon there? Why? Because Zach Baggins says there was. Somebody drew a sketch of Sally, and Sally is automatically a demonic being. According to who? According to who?
Here's what I don't understand is that people are labeling these locations as demonic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why is a demon just hanging out by itself in the basement?
I was going to get to that soon. But no, go ahead.
Like, why? Like, think about this. Think this through. A demon in a lower level, an imp, they've got a purpose for their life as well. Their purpose is to cause chaos. It is to make everyday Monday on steroids, sniffing coke off a stripper's ass. Okay, like, let's be honest. Like, their job is to make your life absolute hell. Is a demon gonna be hanging out in the basement of a house that may or may not have people show up? I don't think so. I truly believe, being a pastor's wife at one point, being a youth pastor, working in children's ministry, and seeing and actually being a part of churches that made decisions that, in honesty, went against the mission statement for that sect of Christianity, that went against the scripture that they were preaching. And, the one thing I always questioned is, because I did watch an exorcism at one point at a church I attended when I was in high school. And I thought it was the most amazing, miraculous thing to witness. And at the same time, it was the most terrifying thing to witness. And I remember thinking to myself, they get this thing out of this girl. Where is it going to go?
Mm-hmm.
Where is this thing going to go? Yes, we're on holy ground, but as you can tell, it's still entered holy ground within her body. What you mean because it's no longer held by her body, that it's just going to flee? I don't fucking think so. Like, it was still there. Like, your logic does not make sense in any capacity. So if it's not, the location's not thoroughly protected, what, I mean, you've got a crucifix hanging on the wall in the back of the sanctuary. That person still came into the church with that crucifix hanging there. They still raised their hands when appropriate during the praise and worship songs. It's just, I think that people, especially, and this is why I was saying this is every day. I fully believe there is a whole, and it's not just a generation, it is generations that are living right now of Christians, of Catholics that have no understanding of these beings that they preach about and how they inflict harm. How they, when you look at the Christian church, it's like literally, like look at the destruction from within, and then you tell me where the demons are.
So, literally had this conversation this weekend. That's kind of what we decided to do this episode. Um, as many of you guys know, I helped create the Bell Mansion in Fort Wayne, and across the street was a very beautiful old church. I think it was Trinity Lutheran something. Um, and I, I I can probably say we've asked the spirits there 1,000 times, where are the demonic beings? And every time they would reply, church. And I'm like, whoa, that's crazy. Like they are really repetitive. Like they're at the church. They're at church, church, church. So it got me thinking, and I'm like, couple things. To me, somebody that is faith based, you know, would be probably the ultimate prize for a demonic being. It wouldn't be the person that's strung out on drugs on the corner and homeless. Um, those would be easy to manipulate and take over. But if you can crack open a priest or somebody in the congregation, that's the ultimate prize right there. I mean, you think about it, for years and decades, and or probably a century, how many cases of priests coming forward of sexual, allegations, okay, you know, and stuff like that. Now, I'm not saying they're it was all demonic based, but that would be easy for them to manipulate that situation and for that, to happen. Uh, and people were like, well, they can't go in churches; it's holy ground. Hmm, yes and no. I don't think it's somewhere where, well, at least in the United States, nowhere that literally Jesus sat. To me, that's holy ground. That's something holy. Okay. All your churches are man made, they're all driven by man made religion that have created the rules and regulations and this or that. It's just a structure. It is just a structure. It's just another place. But it is a place where a lot of strong faith based people go. So that's why they're there. You know, look, people would say, well, look at like Waverly Hills and Indiana State Sanitarium or Madison Seminary or Trans Allegheny or places like that where so many, you know, these, could there have been demonic beings there at one point? Absolutely. I can't say yes or no. But for a structure like that, where it is no longer occupied with those kind of people, prison, Ohio State Reformatory, Missouri State Penitentiary, West Virginia, those are no longer occupied on a daily basis at that capacity of humans. There's no longer a reason for them to be there. When it was occupied and running, absolutely, I could get behind that. But now there isn't. There's not enough going on there in that kind of mantra, per se, for them to still be there. I will argue that to the day I die. They're not down in the fucking janitor's pit. They're not up in, Secretary Sally's office or whoever. They're just not. It doesn't make any sense for them to be there. Are you gonna fall asleep?
No, I'm getting some.
Or are you getting something? So it's like, you know, and I hate to say it, even, and I love them in Row House, and I love Pam and Eddie. They're wonderful people, but there's no demons there, and that, unfortunately they got labeled that, and it's going to stick forever for them. But that's just not their mantra. It's not. I mean, really think about this, people. Now, is there something that could be there that is that mischievous, malevolent, and can cause havoc and hurt you and do all that stuff? Yes, 100%. But I'll die on the hill that it's not going to be what you think it is. It's either a very disturbed spirit, or somebody went there and conjured something for it to be there. And they're not going to conjure a demonic being. It's going to be something different. You cannot conjure those things. It's like, okay, I'm going to conjure an angel right now to come in this office to hang out with us. It sounds asinine. And it's like you see it over and over and over again. You know, we've known people in this field that have went out on cases and told their, to the point that that person that they told end up unaliving themselves because they believed what that person told them.
Now, just for those watching who don't understand, Legion is 1,000.
So this investigator told this child had 27,000 demonic beings on them, and that person believed them and end up, they're no longer here with us. That is on another level of wrong. Like, that's imprisonment wrong in my eyes.
I mean, when you think, I would consider that bullying.
And I'm going to tell you right now, 90% of the people in this field know who this person is.
Oh, yeah.
90%. Very well known person.
Yeah.
You got to understand, just because they're popular or they were on a network TV show or this or that doesn't mean they know the head from their fucking ass. Because most of them don't. They have a pretty face or a good personality that can pull ratings, and now they're like, oh my God, you were on a network show. You must know everything. Please teach me. Again, another most asinine thing. Okay. Look, kudos to, you become a content creator and you got millions of subscribers and you're making money. Hell yeah, man. Kudos to you. I'll shake your hand, give you a hug. I'm big, congratulations. But if you turn around and try to tell me what's what on this or that, we gonna have a fucking problem, because I'm gonna call you out because you're full of shit.
And if he doesn't, I will.
Look, I'm not pointing the finger again. I'm not saying that what we're saying is like written in red, but I feel very damn confident in what I do know and what I am saying. And we'll give you, here in a few minutes, we'll explain to you a real demonic case that Brie and I did work on. Go ahead.
So before that, we did warn you guys at the beginning, arm touch. So I am getting something, and I see who this person is. But I am going to keep this anonymous because I feel like this could actually apply to a couple people that are watching. If you're not watching live right now, I feel like there is going to be a specific person that is going to watch this on replay. You guys need to stop beating yourselves up for the mistakes that you've made. You made choices you made, decisions, they might have been knee jerk, but you have to let it go. There's now a ripple effect due to the decisions that were made. I hear that you need to keep the faith though. You need to love yourself again. You need to know that in the end, everything is going to play out the way that it was originally supposed to, and it's going to be okay. You are going to be okay.
You make decisions regardless if it's a knee jerk reaction. You have to lay in that bed and you have to understand it and you have to find the silver lining and you have to move forward. And if you make a decision and you make mistakes or you hurt people in those decisions, you have to man up or woman up and admit those and move on. Now, if that person decides to forgive you or people's forgive you, that's in their court. But at the end of the day, you're going to move on, and and the universe is funny about that, and it's going to make you do things that you don't want to do and cause you to go to the direction that's very uncomfortable for you. And but it's needed. And the bad decision that you made, it might had to have gone that way regardless. So who knows? Who knows? That's only for whoever this person is to figure it out. Um, yeah. So back to
Back to our regular scheduled program.
back to the whole demonology thing and running around with demonic dolls and stuff like that. It's a bunch of hogwash, man. Literally, it is. It's a bunch of hogwash. It's a money grab. That's all it is. Um, Attention, entertainment, money grab. That's all it is. You know. Um, I seen somebody made a post today, and I love this dude because he is so brutally honest. He's like, just because you made a case out of wood or wormwood and put holy water and crystals and this or that doesn't mean jack shit. And I'm like, I mean, dude's got a point. It's got a point. You know. Look, so whether you come across something of that nature or close to that nature, it is all because of you. It comes down to you. What is going on in your life? What is going on in your psyche, in your mind, in your conscious, either that you are letting out or you're holding it in? Regardless, the universe knows. The universe always knows. And when I say universe, I mean, you can throw the demonic beings in there, angels, God, you name it. They know. They know. So that plays into it. You can sit here and put on this whole fake personality, persona, to become this big bad, wearing black, paranormal investigator, medium, psychic medium, you name it. At the end of the day, what truly matters is what's in your head. Who are you truly? Because you can't escape it. At the end of the day, you can join a community and you can try to escape your real life and become something else for fame and fortune or whatever you want it to be, notoriety, get on a network show, become a million subscriber content creator. At the end of the day, it's going to roost. And who you truly are will come and it will show.
I mean, even the Bible says what is done in the dark will be brought to the light, and I fully believe that that is one of the scriptures that has remained true through all the different transcriptions and translations.
This is like one of the biggest problems in our community is, excuse me, you like ghost hunting, you like the sexiness of it, so you decide to get into it, and then you get into it, and the first thing you do is you pick up your phone and you start watching other people, and you're like, ooh, I can do that and I can do it better. But then you lose yourself. You literally lose yourself in the shit show of one up, who's better, and it's all being played out by the dark side. You are now being easily manipulated and easily, I'm not saying possessed, but in your mind a little bit. You're becoming something that you are truly not, and it will roost. It'll come back to bite you in your ass. The only people in this community that you can truly surround yourself with are the people that are truly just themselves. Like, hey, I joke all the time. I don't know why I'm on here. I lay tile for a living. I'm a tile guy. You ask me, what do I know? I know how to set tile. I know how to build sex showers.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, that's what I call them. They're so fucking big. What else you doing in them?
I'm
Anyways,
40.
that's what I know. Do I know a lot about paranormal investigating, this or that? Yeah, I do. But I'm a husband. I am a father. I'm a brother. I'm a son. I'm a tile guy. And that's it. That is me. You know, and there are points where did I get kind of lost up in it and run the rat race? Hell yeah. You get caught up in it.
It's easy.
But that's where it goes, man. And it ties in, we said this a couple episodes ago. The people that go around in every location that they go to, every flipping one, there is a bad spirit, there is a malevolent spirit, there is a demonic spirit. Everyone they go to. I wonder why that is. What do you think? It's because that's their psyche. That is the only thing that they're looking for. That's the only thing that they care about. And
It's their money maker.
it makes them look good. It makes them feel good to manipulate other people and their properties to tell them that they have all these malevolent, and I'm the only one that can do it because I'm a self-righteous demonologist and I've done X amount of exorcisms. Yeah, I might have performed an exorcism, but doesn't mean it worked. You go find a real exorcist in the Roman Catholic Church and ask them when they go out and do an exorcism, if and when, because they have a whole plethora of things you have to go through just for them to get to that point. They're going to tell you there's no guarantee for one, and they might have to do it multiple times. So you really think it's your neighborhood demonologist or your neighborhood guy that travels the country with a fucking haunted doll is going to come and save you at your house and do an exorcism? Really think about that. They're not. They're not, people. We tell every single person, every single group at the end of the tour at the State House, look, we like what we're doing here. you can have. You want evidence of the afterlife? You want evidence of the afterlife? Come to the state house and you can have interactions with the spirit, and that'll tell you that there's an afterlife. And we don't have a fucking malevolent thing in there. We'll never have a malevolent thing, and we don't need it to prove it. That's the point of it. So if you're a person that has to just go around to these places that are labeled so bad and demonic and this or that, you need to take a look in the fucking mirror, because you have a problem in your head, in your psyche.
So, one thing, like I mentioned this earlier, and I think that it's for me, it's interesting, and I actually asked Nick about this. I would say in the past week or two.
My blood pressure's up. I'm passionate, people. Fucking passionate.
I when we pass churches, I see one of two things, especially like the old churches. It's and I don't see this at every church. It changes, but it's one of two things that I see. I will either see a man standing guard in the bell tower, which I always thought was really weird, and I was like, I always see, not always, but I would say half of the time I see a man in the bell tower. And like I would make comments to Nick, like it's weird. I don't understand. And he'd be like, well, can you tell what's going on? What is he wearing? What do you think's going on? And I'm like, I don't know. But then we would pass other churches and I would see something completely different. They would look like gargoyles and would just make me like, I would just get violently ill to my stomach. Like I would have to turn and just look at Nick. And the first couple times he's like, what's going on? And I'm like, I'm seeing something that's not good. I don't want to use the D word. But if I were to, and he'd be like, well, can you describe it? And I'm like, if I were, the D word is the best thing I can describe these things. But looks wise, they have like a gargoyle type look, red eyes, very long talons, like they're ripped into the different sides, the different eaves of the church. We even went to a Catholic cemetery on Memorial Day weekend, and they had a really beautiful mausoleum set up. Now, side note, I want to apologize. I know I'm yawning a lot. I actually have a new job now, and it is kicking my butt. I'm still adjusting. I've had the job going on 2 months, still adjusting.
It's a lot.
But I'm mentioning this because I am the office manager now for 2 cemeteries. And I don't see this at my cemeteries, just so you know. And I haven't seen this at other cemeteries. But at this Catholic one, I saw the gargoyle type things sitting over the entrances of the doors on the roofs of the mausoleums. And I had to turn, and I didn't tell Nick right away because I was like, am I really seeing, like, why would they be in a cemetery? It did not make sense to me. And so just because I see it, I don't always say it. And, Nick has, through my time, as my gifts have grown, has definitely encouraged me and helped me grow and better understand my gifts, and knowing that I do need to speak what I say because of credence. But if I don't fully understand what I see, I typically will sit and I will think it through. Like, is there anything else I saw, like, peripherally? Was there anything else going on? And it dawned on me, I asked Nick, I was like, so I saw this. But what if they're holding the souls? What if it's a holding place for souls? Like, yes, these people have passed. They've already had their see the light moment. But what if this is a holding area for those that they did not let go through? Because there's only a few different things that I see for why spirits are still here. They were held back. They willingly chose, I'm I I'm not going, or it was a sudden death, and they, or I guess there's four, mentally did not understand, like dementia, did not understand what the light represented. So, but I recently asked Nick, is it possible that I'm seeing these men in the bell towers of these churches because they are protecting the church? Because there is no demonic influence in those structures. And it is like an angelic guard. But what it's it even states in the Bible that our human eye, it could literally kill you to see what an angel looks like in its true ethereal form. So am I seeing an angel present itself to me as what would look like as a watchman in a tower, looking out for the congregation, protecting the church? And where there's other times I do already see the demonic there, and I see the infestation that is growing.
So
Think that over.
she explains this to me, and I said, "Well, babe, what did you see?" And she said, "There's this. You describe them as like negative beings,
Right.
like gargoyles, red eyes, talons, like they're just got a hold on there." She's like, "How the hell could those be in the Catholic cemetery that is spiritually protected? Like these are all faith-based people, this or that." And I said to you, do you remember what I said to you?
I don't, because I'm still wrapping my head. Like I'm still
I
trying
said,
to understand a lot of this.
how do you know that these gargoyles that you saw
Oh yeah, you
are
asked me that.
are negative? She's like, because they're gargoyles and they had red eyes and talons. I said, well, I know that, but how do you know that these gargoyle beings are negative?
So it goes back to light and dark. Why, if something is of the light, why would it be manifesting itself and showing itself to me where I can see it as something that represents the dark?
Think about it. What was it? If you were to infiltrate something to get in there, you are going to make yourself blend in, right? So let's say that you have a duty to do, but you have to go into enemy territory to do this duty. So now you have to dress and act like, let's say, an enemy soldier to blend in, enable for you to do what you need to do. So maybe these gargoyle looking creatures are actually angelic beings pretending to be demonic looking spirits to like ward off actual demonic beings.
No, because you can feel them. So part of my gift is I can feel bonds. Like when I'm giving a reading and a loved one steps forward, whether it be friend or family member, I will feel the bond, and I will say what I feel like. Okay, so I have let's just take a father figure. I will say, okay, a father figure has stepped forward, um, and this to me, what I'm seeing, how he's showing himself to me, this is paternal. I'm getting this paternal, so father side. And this would be like grandpa, great grandpa, or like uncle, great uncle, But this is somebody who was a grandfather figure for you. And I'm able to describe the relationship. So,
Stay safe, brother.
um, the I'm able to feel the light. I'm able to feel the dark. That is one thing that I always kind of joke with Nick about. Like, I don't understand why people try to lie to me. Um, I can feel it, and it's like
Babe, I'm 6'1".
I can physically feel that. That's a lie. But it
Whatever.
like, I know for me being a medium, I can sit here and I can tell you this is what I feel. This is what I see, and the feeling that I'm getting to me backs up my visual, because I'm not getting the warm fuzzies when I look at this. This isn't something that isn't trying to incorporate itself. On top of that, you have to understand that an angel would never try to be something that it's not, especially demonic.
I don't think those gargoyles were probably demonic beings, babe. I think they're some type of protectors. And
I
in the grand scheme of things, if you want to talk about the divine spectrum of things, like, we don't truly understand anyways, and the ultimate goal, I don't know. At the end of the day, you could be right. Maybe there are gargoyles, there are demonic beings at a Catholic cemetery holding spirits back. That could be the case. I don't know. My gut's telling me it's not. But
I don't feel like okay, how can I best describe this so you guys could relate to it? Who has seen Ghostbusters?
never seen it.
Bullshit. It's what Sigourney Weaver turns into in Rick Moranis.
Hmm.
That is what I see, and I feel it with my whole being that these in no way, shape, or form represent anything like it makes me
But
physically sick. And anytime I face something that's of the light, I don't physically feel sick.
if you look at churches that are still standing that are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, maybe 1,000 years old, and you look at some of the architecture on there, you will see gargoyles on the facade.
Right. And they did use those to ward off evil spirits due to the folklore and the legends of the time frame. But in a spiritual sense, there's no need for a spirit to represent itself in a wrong way. Why would a spirit misrepresent an angelic being in and of itself? And we've experienced angelic beings at a
Okay.
location before.
Okay. Why would an angelic being pretend to be a regular looking soul in the tower in the bell tower?
Um, well, because our mind cannot understand what they truly look like. It's one thing for them to represent themselves in a humanistic form, to show as a human. It's another thing for them to go to the opposite spectrum and try to misrepresent themselves as something demonic.
So you guys are now witnessing conversations that we have all the time. We go back and forth, back and forth. But who knows? Who knows what's actually there at that Catholic cemetery? Unfortunately, both sets of my grandparents are there. So, yeah.
But they're not there.
Well, they're not there, but they're remain. You know what I mean. Anyways, so moving on. Moving on. So, babe, let's talk about a true demonic case. Um, let's talk about the one we were involved with.
Okay.
And let's explain what an actual demonic possession is.
Okay. So
Do you want to start off with the case, or do you want to start off with?
let's start with the case because then I can better explain.
Okay, so I have a half brother. We share. We have the same dad. Our father passed away what was it, 2018, something like that. God, it's been a while. Holy shit. But his mother still lived here in town, and my brother lives down in Arkansas. Okay. Now I've met his mom numerous times, and she was just not a very, very nice person. She was very rude, very short, very just a plethora of bad things, an evolution of things throughout her life. She just did not live a very good life, per se. But anytime my brother was in town and he needed help, I was always there. Like, absolutely, whatever you need. Had to help her move a couple times. That's just what you do, right? For family. So, um, brother ends up coming up into town. He was like, my mom's not doing well. Um, stage 4, whatever, cancer has popped up, this or that. So he comes up here, and first time she ends up getting released to the hospital. She goes back to the assisted living, this or that. Brother goes back home to Arkansas. What was it? Not even what, 4 days later, he calls me. He's like, "Well, she took a turn for the worst. Um, I'm heading back up there." I was like, "All right, brother. Well, whatever you need, let us know." Um, they gets up here with my sister in law, and unfortunately, she succumbed to it. Okay, but what had happened was, so my brother was laying in the bed with his mother, and at the point of her last breath, she took and looked exuberantly terrified. Like she saw something, it terrified her to the core, and like she literally took her last breath. She's gone. And of course, my brother is extremely distraught over this. And, he had met Brie the year before when they came up or something?
Let's see. This was last year, 2025, and he met me Thanksgiving of 23.
Okay. So we've met. They've met before. Um, so, and, Andy, my brother's known that I've been in the paranormal. Hell, I even went down to Arkansas and investigated his house and the whole 9 yards. He's been on investigations up here in Fort Wayne with us. So he knows, but he knew that Bree was, a medium. So he was really distraught about it, and he asked Bree to kind of tap in and figure this out. So I'll let you.
Yeah, so I was at my old job, and I had told them that, my brother, um, his mom was passing, and I didn't know what would be happening. And at this point, I didn't know that um, she had passed. Sharon, correct?
Yes.
I did not know that Sharon had passed, and I never got a chance to meet her. Just so you guys know, my phone goes off, and it's Andy, and he's asking me if I can do a favor, and I'm like, yeah, of course, anything. What's going on? And he's like, mom's gone, and I I need to know something. And at that point, I already knew what he was asking, and I was already getting imaging of what had happened. And I was seeing how she had passed with Andy laying next to her. And he's like, I need to know what my mom was scared of. And I was like, are you sure you're ready for this answer? And he was like, yes. And I said, okay, I need to talk to Nick first. And I came home from work, and I was pretty upset.
Yeah, you were in tears.
And I, Nick's like, well, what are you seeing? And I was like, I see her laying with Andy, and I see her turn her head. And I said, babe, I've never seen anything like this before, but if I were to call something a demon, I sure as hell would call this a demon. And it's like it was in her, and it stepped forward. Like it stepped out. It projected out, and she was seeing, like, literally, like, there's an old why there's an old saying, face your demons. She literally faced her demon with her last breath. And he was like, not, Nick was like, well, shit, let me talk to Andy. So he reached out to Andy, and he was like, why don't you guys come on over? But you need to be prepared, and be truly honest with yourself that regardless of what Bree sees, you're ready to receive it. I don't believe in reaching out to the dead after they die. Like when you see celebrities pass and people are trying to get in touch,
that's tacky.
I don't agree with that. And it's one thing if they show up to you, it's another thing when you're trying to get them, though. So I had a lot of mixed feelings on doing this, and I was talking to Nick about it, and he was like, this is different. It's not like, you're reaching out to Matthew Perry or anything. Like, it's okay. So they come over, and he also has his sister, Nick's half sister, and her husband. So we're sitting there and we're talking for about an hour, couple hours, and the conversation had started off asking me what it had started off towards what did Bree see. Well, then it segued away, so I never got a chance to say anything. And I won't lie, I was sitting there like, oh, thank God I don't have to say anything. I'm not going to have to be the bearer of bad news today. I'm not going to have to break this family's heart, because I saw like more stuff was presenting itself to me in more finite detail, in the sense of how long this had been with her, in the sense of how it came to be with her, in the sense of the personality changes that she went through as it dug its claws, literal claws, into her, and she was unable to break free. She literally went through a transformation. It wasn't like an overnight possession.
Yeah. I mean, this thing's been with her probably since the 70s.
Like it
Like,
was.
and this was, yeah. So, like, it's not, it's not where you get possessed. The next thing you know, you're vomiting ectoplasm and your head's turning, twisting, and you're levitating off the bed and crawling up the wall. This is a true case of the fact that this thing has been with her the majority of her life and beat her down physically, mentally, spiritually,
Personality. I mean,
everything, every aspect. She lived a very rough, horrible life. And at that moment, it presented like, I mean, I don't know. I would imagine with a smile on its face.
It basically it grinned at her. It like did a weird smirk,
And
and like the conversation swings back around. I'll try to speed this up. So the conversation swings back around, and Nick looks at me and he goes, well, what do you think? And I look at Andy, because I'll be honest, I hadn't met his sister and her husband before. In fact, this was the first time you were meeting your sister, right?
There's a long backstory to the point where his mother did not tell her kids about our whole family. My brother had no idea for the majority of his life up until like 2012 or 13 is when I finally met him. He had no idea. She kept it all a secret. Anyways, I had never met my other half sister until this partake. I'd been down to Arkansas and she refused to meet me and blah 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 blah. Anyways, that's not part of that's.
But it's important because I've never met her. I didn't know anything about her, and Andy is like, yes, I need to know. And his wife Cynthia is like, yes, and his sister's like, yes, and her husband's like, I'm just here. Like, I'm moral support. And I said, okay. And so I start describing the death scene. And they're like, yes. And I'm like, and this is the direction she's facing. And they're like, yes. And I'm like, this is what she saw. And they're like, well, how did this thing come to be? And I start describing the age that the sister, because the sister is the oldest out of the three, of these siblings. Um, I start describing at what age she was and the horrible things that she did to her. And I was like, you would have noticed it was a slow progression. And this is how it started. It started with, like, you would get the shit knocked out of you for no reason. Like, you washed a dish wrong. You wore your hair the wrong way. You didn't push your chair in at the table all the way. Like, different things. And then I started seeing the different places that they lived at in California. Never seen pictures. Never knew what part. I didn't know. I didn't know any of this information. And I'm spitting it out. The older sister starts breaking down crying, and she's like, that's mom. You just described my childhood and how I watched my mom turned turn into the woman she became. I lost my loving mom, and Andy never got to know her.
So we make the decision to figure out how to help Sharon in this situation. And so we gear up and we head over to the assistant living place. My brother and sister in law are still there. They're packing up some of the stuff, blah, 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 blah. And, you know, uh, I wear sentimental protection things. Do I have a Super 7 crystal? Yeah, I wear it. But I have a specific bracelet that I wear. It's like a white rubber bracelet with a black cross, but on the inside of it, it says "Stay focused," and it means a lot to me. It's not bad. It's not doesn't have holy water on it. It does never. It's never been blessed. Nothing, but it means the world to me. Okay, and we get there, and my brother's like, "You get out the elevator, go right, go da 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 da." So we go down there. We can't find him. We're calling him, blah da da. Well, at some point, my bracelet got ripped off my wrist. I had no idea. Okay.
Well, and what's interesting is as we're walking down this hallway, like, I'm starting to feel physically ill, and I'm like, we have to get out of here. Like, we need to find this. We need to get it done. We've got to get out of here.
You're talking about a place. I mean, it's like a nursing home. I mean, it's just death. It's just that feeling of death. Nursing homes in places like this are worse than funeral homes. You just feel it in the air. But anyway, so we eventually get into the room, and I'm not going to go through the whole thing. Needless to say, we were not able to do anything with this demonic being. Where it went, I have no idea. We're going to get to that in a second. But we were able to hold off with the help of outside sources, talking spiritually, to get Sharon away from this thing and through the light.
Yeah.
So that worked. But I immediately feel deathly ill. And I'm like, I got to get the fuck out of here. And then I realized, where the hell is my bracelet? We end up going to look for it. We end up finding it in some laundry room down at the other end of the building where it must have fell off my wrist and somebody put it in there. Anyways, I go outside. My rule of thumb is you need to go ground, but you need to go ground off property. Like,
away from where the activity was.
But I'm like, we get out to the truck. I'm flipping shit off. I'm like walking in the grass. Like, oh my God, I'm starting to feel a little better. You know what I'm saying? But I was so affected by what went down.
It was bad.
My whole psyche, my thought process, like I went in a downhill spiral for about what, 3 months?
That happened in April, and it went from April until the end of August.
To the point where Brie is calling people, like she's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know. He is not right. Something ain't right. She'd talk to me and I'm like, I'm fucking fine. Leave me alone. Blah blah blah.
Well, like,
And we would fight. We would fight, 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 fight. You know, and I didn't want it with nothing to do with it. Like, how are you gonna fucking tell me I'm affected? I would know. You know,
and I'm
I
like, yeah, like he would say certain things, and I would, like, I remember the thing, like, what I had a suspicion that something was off spiritually, but we had an argument, and he made an offhanded comment about one of the kids, and it was at that moment, like, that was my green light. That was what was like, this is it.
mm-hmm.
And I was like, shit. And I looked him, you know, like, and he's across our bedroom, and I looked at him and I said, this is spiritual. This has nothing to do with us. If it makes you feel better to yell at me, if it makes you feel better to get mad and angry, get mad and angry. I know this isn't you. I now know without a shadow of a doubt that this has nothing to do with you and nothing to do with me. This is a spiritual element. And once you come to terms with it and we're able to deal with it, like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm in here for the long haul. So you better suck it up, because I don't care how mad you get at me. You're not pushing me away. I'm standing my damn ground. And that made him madder, which I knew it would, but I knew it wasn't him.
Mm-hmm.
It was what had happened, if that makes sense.
So months go by. We're leaving the state house.
And at this point, it's August.
And we're getting ready to leave to go to San Francisco for a convention. It's a shit show. And we're leaving the truck, and my brother texts me.
And it shows on the screen.
It says my brother's name. And I'm like, and earlier that day, she calls her aunt and was like, I need help. I need prayers. I need something to wake him up, per se. And that text message came through, and I kind of stopped and I looked at Brie and I said, when was Andy here? When did we go see and help Sharon? And we started playing it, and now it's clicking in my head. It's now clicking in my head, and I'm like, fuck. I've been severely affected by going to deal with this thing. Not to say it was with me. It wasn't with me, but it fucked with my psyche bad. And
it was like an attachment without the attachment, if that makes sense. I don't know how else to describe it. That's the only way I can describe
it. And to me, that's half the battle right there. And, you know, I end up going to see a very dear friend of ours, and I got some spiritual healing and some other things, and had to work on it. And obviously I'm better, you know, but
it was a night and day difference though on the ride home.
So the point of this is what a true demonic being will do.
Yes.
It will latch onto you and fucking ruin your life in every aspect until your dying breath.
And it will mess with those around you. It might not attach to them, but it will attack them. And you might see physical, where you see physical marks. You might notice a personality change.
So this is the only way to fix a situation like this. You, yourself, your true self, your conscious, needs to prevail. You need to understand. You need to fight that in your head. No outside influence can do that for you.
You have to
When
fight for yourself.
when you're in exorcism, and the priest's like, Tommy, come to Tommy, whatever, we'll just say Tommy. Tommy, you need to be with us. You need to fight this, Tommy. Tommy. Tommy's true self, internally, mentally, spiritually, needs to fight it, to push it out. And then once you can get it released, then you can do your spiritual barriers and stuff like that. But if that person in their mind and in their spirit can't do that, it's a lost cause. It's truly a lost cause. That person is just gonna live a horrible life to their very last breath, and that it is what it is. And then you pray for their soul that even in the afterlife, this thing doesn't have a grip on it, and this thing can move on to the light, to the next journey, whatever their true self is going to do. That's a whole nother conversation. But that is what it is, and it is so retarded. Sorry, stupid. I'll take that word back. Stupid. To see everybody in the field just act like it's all fortune and glory and sexy, to have talk about demons and exorcisms, and I read a book and I'm a demonologist and I studied under so and so, he taught me demonology, and this or that. Like, you go see a shrink. Seriously. Like, let's be real. Let's do this in black and white. You understand it. That's what these are. That's what it's going to do. It doesn't matter if it's a normal spirit to a demonic being to something nature to aliens. It all comes down to you in your head, your psyche, on why anything is affecting you. And the only way to fix it is to fix yourself and to fix your mind and get your mind right.
Yep.
That's it. Bottom line. To your atypical haunting in your house, to 27 legions of demons, that's it. It all comes down to your mind. Raise that vibration. Change that frequency. You'll change your life.
Facts.
Stop dropping thumbnails with demons in it. You're a freaking idiot. All right,
Not
baby.
a good look on you.
I hope this makes a little sense to you. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Maybe you go off and your group chats and you're like, Nick and Brie are fucking idiots. I'm okay with that. I feel better getting it off my chest. This is what we truly think. This is what we truly feel. And I hope, again, I hope this betters your life. And I hope this opens your mind to what you're actually dealing with on your paranormal investigations or in your house. Any last remarks, baby?
No, I think you summed it up just right, babe.
Isn't she beautiful, guys? I'm a lucky dude. We love you guys. We'll see you in 2 weeks. We're going to talk about consciousness and awakening. We'll see you later.